I am humbled to introduce myself, Catherine Bracken, and my peer, Paula Crockford. We want to thank the Canadian Association of Social Work Education for being invited to share our story and for creating a space to discuss our initiative for field education, the Remote Research Student Practicum Network. Our presentation will consist of a film which will feature impact stories from members of the RRSPN, what they gained as a result, and how it contributed to their holistic growth. Before I continue, I want to express our deepest gratitude to our field instructors, Dr. Susan Cadell, Dr. Meg Gibson, and Dr. Trish Van Catwick for their support, encouragement, and their devotion to our learning journey. Now, a little bit on the process of how the RRSPN came to be. The COVID-19 pandemic led to direct practice restrictions, necessitating virtual field education. Renison University College rose to the challenge, establishing new opportunities, and the social work remote research practicum was born. While groundbreaking, challenges presented in this non-traditional paradigm without supporting literature, established structure, or best practice guidelines specific to remote research practicum. Beginning a research placement, I felt unsure. I soon realized I was not alone when I connected with a fellow colleague who was completing her research practicum in another project. We conversed weekly, discussed terminology, shared resources, and talked about our struggles and progress. Sharing knowledge and supporting each other as peers was so valuable, we reasoned our colleagues may find the same. With the encouragement from Renison, we formalized our peer mentorship network for students navigating remote research practicums. We were empowered. The Remote Research Student Practicum Network connects virtually to share practicum knowledge and garner support in our quest to practice social work research at the graduate level. We have built a peer mentorship community where equitable conversation is valued. Separately, we bring our experiences and vision. Together, we have formed a bond that has enhanced our professional agency and identity. To illustrate our journey, we chose trees as symbols of how our network has amplified our field education experience and flourished our spirit. Trees are not only diverse and embody many characteristics, they lean and support one another. Growing together, they form a sense of belonging and strength. The first tree we highlight is the redwood, as it represents unity. Redwoods inspire partnership, as their collective presence creates a natural, sacred space. Redwoods thrive in a group, providing strength and support through their intertwining roots. I will now share my personal reflections. I am most grateful for what the RRSPN has given me. Being able to connect with peers on a regular basis and discuss issues pertinent to research practicums has been both rewarding and fulfilling. It provides a sense of camaraderie with MSW students striving for excellence in research. Being a co-creator of the RRSPN has been invigorating and has enhanced the salience of peer collaboration in social work. I feel more balanced because of the community I have experienced with my peers. The sense of togetherness has helped me navigate research in a fun and cohesive manner. This experience has been rewarding and has certainly enriched my professional practice. I chose a maple tree to represent my experience as it symbolizes promise, hope, wisdom, and balance. Peer mentorship gave new promise, and the collective wisdom between us has been empowering and very special. And now Paula will present Cynthia Benoit's reflection on what the RRSPN means to her.
When I first started in my remote research field practicum, I was very excited but also very nervous. Conducting formal research was new learning. It pulled me out of my comfort zone but allowed me to grow personally and professionally. I had been part of a national research study out of Western University for Indigenous peoples with diabetes as a community coordinator, but navigating a remote research practicum was a first. I was excited to join the RRSPN. At first, it felt like we were navigating new waters, but having a group coordinated by our peers proved to be very successful. By the end of my placement, I felt like we were seasoned research assistants. Having the space to share thoughts and ideas about research practicums was very productive and helpful. It provided me an opportunity to collaborate, learn with, and learn from my peers. It was amazing how a bunch of MSW students positioned across Canada and the world became so cohesive. Not only did we learn a lot, we made lifelong friends. Thanks, Paula and Kath. Kudos to you both. I chose the cherry blossom tree in my reflection as it symbolizes new birth and awakenings, as well as affection and love. Having the ability to converse with social work peers about research awakened ideas from my professional point of view. This learning will serve me in my work with my clients moving forward. Through professional connection, I have made good friends and feel an affection for my peers that is long-lasting. And now, Kath will present Catherine Gusick's thoughts about her experience with the RRSPN.
I felt that this peer support group was a wonderful constant during a time that was ever-changing and unpredictable. I think this year has been especially hard with the many plans having to change at the last minute due to the pandemic and the stress that accompanies not knowing what will happen next. The peer support group was a warm and accepting place to learn, share ideas, find clarity, and simply share some humor during times of stress. I'm grateful to Paula and Kath for initiating this peer support group and for their commitment and dedication to maintaining it throughout the year. I choose this tree image because I love imagery of trees and wind. I love the feeling and movement of wind and how trees give it a visual. There is contrast with the wind and trees, wind representing movement and change, and trees representing stillness and dependability. This image also reminds me of the loneliness of COVID-19 and how much we all need that human connection, especially when most of our work is virtual. A few words from Vicki Healy on her experiences with the RRSPN are next. When I began my placement in February of 2021, the RRSPN had already been active for several months. As a newcomer, it was reassuring to know that there was a group of students who are at different points in their placement that I could ask questions, connect, and share ideas. This is particularly important considering that in a remote placement, it is not as easy to get the connection that occurs in a face-to-face environment. The knowledge and resource sharing that occurs outside the meetings is another valuable part of this network. The network has a resource sharing folder in Dropbox that helps enhance our learning in research. This has resulted in greater transferability of skills and knowledge to other areas of research, academia, and professional practice. Lastly, being able to connect with graduate students and professionals across the country is a unique benefit. The RRSPN is another point of contact to enhance those relationships and build professional networks beyond graduate studies. This image was chosen to represent how I believe growth occurs. The tree represents the student, and the hands offering different yet essential nutrients show how each member of the RRSPN has something different to offer, but all are essential to the ongoing growth of the student. Now Paula will present Amanda Lougheed's experience participating in the RRSPN.
Coming into research as a social work student was incredibly intimidating. I remember loathing my statistics and research methods classes in undergrad. I associated research with math and joked I was not in social work to do math. Research, however, is way more than math. There are so many elements of research I have grown fond of since doing a virtual research practicum. One rewarding element is the relationships and support I receive. The Remote Research Student Practicum Network is a safe, supportive place where we come together and discuss our practicums. We discuss ethical dilemmas, boundary setting, self-care, new learning, and help each other relate our research to our integration seminar topics. Something I really valued in my undergrad learning was the face-to-face circles where we would discuss our practicums, not driven by any specific topic, just casual check-ins. I find my current practicum is lacking in that component, and I am grateful to the creators of this group for providing that experience. Being able to connect virtually assists me in feeling more connected to my classmates in an authentic way. The willow tree speaks to me. Not only does it look like it has the most beautiful long hair, but its branches bend in beautiful ways and it still stays strong. Willow trees thrive in challenging conditions. I feel that I've been able to adapt to be a social worker in research and make strong roots in it. The message of the willow tree is to adjust with life rather than fighting it, surrendering to the process. And we are now going to go back to Kath to listen to how the RRSPN has impacted Heather's field education experience in remote research.
As a new student to research, I was extremely thankful to have a group of students that were already oriented, knowledgeable, and skilled at the practice. Having bi-weekly meetings created a space to ask questions and discuss challenges that might arise. The group members were extremely welcoming and honest about their experience. Online learning can come with many obstacles, including lack of connections. Having other students you can rely on makes a huge difference, not only in your research placement, but also in the graduate program as a whole. Being a part of this group continues to drive my passion for my profession and my learning. It's a great way to dialogue among social workers who come from different job settings. When I think about the RRSPN group, I think about an oak tree. The branches of an oak tree create an expansive canopy. As students, we are like these branches that keep growing. As we bring our amazing experience and knowledge, we begin to form a canopy of learning, skills, and critical thinking. The wonderful thing about an oak tree is it continues to make branches and the canopy gets larger, meaning not only does our individual growth continue, so does our collective growth. As social workers, we continue to learn because the world is ever changing. Fellow social workers are our allies, and together we can be much stronger. Learning together creates endless opportunities and a great community of which to work. Finally, Paula will be sharing how co-creating and participating in the RRSPN with myself, Kath, has impacted her field education.
Joining with Kath Bracken to create the Remote Research Student Practicum Network has created a sense of security and belonging in a time when I was feeling unsure. Navigating a remote research practicum can be isolating. However, through virtual connection with my peers, we ask questions, explore ethics, elaborate on practicum research theory to integrate it back into our field education, and discuss how research experiences could be utilized in our practice beyond education. Through field education and mentorship with my peers, my research identity is blossoming. Yes, my experiences within practicum helped me to do this. However, the experience of peer mentorship, discussing and learning alongside MSW colleagues, has further embedded that social work research is doable in my future, particularly through balance of power. Within RRSPN discussions, I have been able to examine my research values with pride, to discuss blending Indigenous and Western methodologies, to create an environment of ethical space to discuss dilemmas, and to express the wise practice of weaving my cultural and social work values. I chose the pine tree to represent my journey to co-create the RRSPN with Kath Bracken, and as an expression of joining with peers to learn about research. The pine tree represents coming together and creating space to talk about past, present, and future possibilities. Through discussion, we grow stronger together. I am humbled and grateful to journey with my peers as I have been able to learn more with them than alone. Despite a rapid, sometimes chaotic immersion into the virtual world, the pandemic is providing new opportunities for MSW candidates to complete remote research field education. For this, Kath, I, and RRSPN members are grateful. Further grateful that Renison University College encouraged our student-led initiative. With the encouragement of our field instructors, practicum coordinators, and integration seminar instructor, we were able to create a virtual space for equitable biweekly student-led discussion and peer mentorship among our colleagues. We have supported each other when we were feeling anxious, unprepared, isolated, and sometimes confused about research, theory, methods, ethics, and integration of our practicum learning into our integration seminars. Through peer mentorship, we have seen our identities as researchers blossom, begin to understand applied connections of social work research to community practice, and think about engaging in community university research partnerships beyond graduation. We are humbled to have collaborated and shared our learning with our peers through our field education experiences in remote research. Thank you for listening to our impact statements today.